Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Hyder got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws. Out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Break 3 to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40 midfield. 40 30 to the coast. 20 15. Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, man. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page, go to Shawn and Maya in the morning, like that page as well. So not only will you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, but you'll also, not only will you get Sports Zone, oh, I just lost it. Not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. Wow. Crazy night. Crazy night. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you watch this on our mobile app, listen, we got a mobile app, baby. So if you didn't know, it doesn't matter. All right? Just go to where you get your apps from, all right? Whether it's iTunes or Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayres, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Woolworths, Weebolts, Gold Blast, it doesn't matter. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. You take us with you on the go, so not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, and not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence, Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching this on Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel to your television. Okay, put us there next to the big boys, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Prime Video, HBO Max, or is it HBO Plus, Apple TVs, Disney Plus, Stars, Paramount Plus. Watch this on the big screen. We're on the big screen, right, Mickey, Vicky, now. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally, you know what? Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle. Black Diamond, one handle. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. All right? We got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or a mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Question, comment, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. And this chat line is jumping like crazy. Woo! Crazy. Black Diamond's in the house. Said, what's up? Top of the morning, sir. I was trying to catch you the other morning. We were responding. Oh, so you didn't see it. So after I typed in, I'm on IG. and I put the my handle. So you should know it, man. You should know it. It's at the bottom. At the Shawn Sierra. So send that to me, or send me a friend request, or follow me, or whatever on IG, and you can comment me and send it to me directly on that message platform. We can get it done. All right, we'll put it up on the screen. Okay, cool, man, cool. Yeah, I was hoping you would see that. I was hoping you remember that I one handle, but you got it now. All right, IGM at the Shawn Sierra. Cornelius Squalls in the house. What up, sports owners? My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr., he is in the house. Junior, what's up, baby? How are you? Shorty, he's in the house. Good morning, Sports Zone family. He says, I like it. Shawn Wallace said, what's up, Superback and peeps on a hump day? You damn right it is, baby. Hump day. Patty Lara checking in. Says, morning, everybody. This is morning, Theo Shawn. We're ready for a great show. Jeremiah in the house. Yes, beautiful. Thank you for tuning in, Jeremiah. I appreciate it. Ant Moss checking in. He says, bear down, Shawn. Yes, baby. Yes. I like it. I like it a lot. Who else? Shorty says, Ant Moss's impromptu show with Lynn Hayden tonight. You won't want to miss this. Lynn Hayden. I'm not sure who that is. Let me know who that is, Shorty. King Book of World checking in, baby. Said salute, chat, and Shawn. Black Diamond, you're on it. Cool. Go so you can go. I would definitely like to see your mock draft. The Planksters in the house. Good morning, Shawn. Sports owners, bear down. You got it, baby. You got it. Man, woo! The chat is jumping like crazy this morning. I love it. I love it. I love it. We got a great show. All right. Oh, okay. He says, Lynn is an old friend. We used to do a show together years ago. Dope. Accept. Okay. All right, Black Diamond. I just got it, baby. I got it. Okay. Photo saved. All right. You know what? We'll put it up on the show today. We'll talk about it, Black Diamond. We'll do it. Do it. Act like Bo Jackson, Nike, and just do it. Yeah, I got to. Let me just fix it up a little bit. Yeah. I didn't like doing mock drafts. I didn't. I thought they were stupid. But I did one last year with Nomad. And man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. So I was like, I might do some more. Here we go. Let me add this one. All right, you're added, Black Diamond. You're locked and loaded. Locked and loaded, so we can take a look at it a little bit. But we got a great show for you, my man. 10 o'clock, my man Herb Howard from the Bigs is going to join us. We're going to talk about the new coaching hire, of course. We're going to see what he thinks of Ben Johnson, what he thinks of the coordinators, what he thinks of. One of the things I want to talk about, and then I'll ask him, is what position or positions are going to be most affected by Ben Johnson? Like, where does he think he needs to upgrade? And that, because we look at that, and that might tell us where they might go in the draft, what direction. Okay. A lot of people down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, and it just came up so fast, and it seems kind of early. It seems really, really early, and So we didn't get a chance to head down there. I wanted to go down. Next year, I'll do a better job of coordinating the time and getting everything organized to get down to the Senior Bowl down in Mobile. So I got a buddy of mine that I went to high school with who lives there, who lives down there. So it'd be good to see him. But anyway. But yeah, so 10 o'clock, Herb Howard's going to join us. And I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Okay. Like Patty Lara says, show me some love. Hit the like button. Smash, baby. Let's do it. I like it. I like it a lot. So, you see, I'm rocking my Bulls hat today. You know, on Monday, the Bulls they hosted the Denver Nuggets. Boy, that was lit. The United Center was lit. Denver's one of the best teams in the Western Conference, in the NBA, truth be told. And the Bulls did their thing. And this is the frustrating part about the bullies. You go and you beat one of the top teams in the Western Conference in the NBA altogether. And then to go lose to an Atlanta team that's decimated by injuries and people who aren't playing. You know, it is it's frustrating. That's the most frustrating part, is when you do stuff like that. All right, when you do stuff like that, and you wonder. And Patrick, I was texting Fred Pfeiffer from this Big Red Bus. I said, solid game by P. Will. And he's like, really? You think so? And I'm like, yeah, he's more active. I said he was aggressive. I was like, don't, and I was waiting for him to respond and saying he only shot X amount from the field, whatever. But I don't care about the percentages, what we saw. All right, it's an eye test for me. You know, after playing basketball for so long, playing football, coaching basketball. All right, probably the last generation who grew up playing outside, pickup games and driving to different parks to play other people and stuff like that. I got a pretty good eye for talent, or I got a pretty good eye for abilities of players. And when I see Patrick Williams play the way he played the other day, I was impressed. He came off the bench. But if you remember, I've been saying for years now, have Patrick Williams be a sixth man. Have him come off the bench. Let him go ham. Let him score. Okay, let him do his thing. It works wonders. We all got to find our role. And some people's role is better suited for them coming off the bench. And that might be where Patrick Williams best helps this team. I like Patrick Williams. Okay, but it seems like he's having an issue as a starter. And I don't know what's in his, I can't tell you his makeup, but man, it's frustrating that at certain times, so often, he seems so laid back, too laid back. And then other times we see him aggressive like we did on Monday. And the only question is, why don't you do that all the time? All right, there's no, and that's the thing for Billy. I don't know if Billy puts foot to ass. I don't know. He talks pretty good. But man, he's got to demand more from this team when you play like that against Denver, and it sucks because we really want them to lose because we want that top 10 protected pick. But, man, you want to see these guys develop. And to me, I think that's the most important thing. Because if you can beat Denver, then there's no reason you can't go on and beat other teams who are inferior to Denver. But again, there's a dichotomy. You want the top 10 protected pick, or you want to give that pick to San Antonio if you fall out of the top 10 in the DeMar trade. So it's a touchy subject. But my question is, the deadline's coming up with the 6th, I want to say. It's coming up the 6th. And what's going to happen? You know, Zach LaVine's playing well, playing really, really well. Is anyone going to want to pick up that contract? How much are the Bulls going to have to eat of that contract? There's a lot of rumors about Vooch being coveted by the Golden State Warriors. The only issue is that Golden State doesn't want to give up a first round pick for Vooch. They want to go. They don't want to give up anything higher than a second. But as the deadline approaches and Golden State might be a little more desperate, it might come to fruition. Because Vooch fits perfectly with them. Perfect. He's hitting the three at a well above a 40% clip. He's over 50% from the field. He can screen. He's a great passer. It's a perfect match for Golden State for what they want. And trust me, if you trade Vooch, the caliber of this team drops considerably. And then we have to try and find someone for Zach, which I don't think we're going to do, which is okay. But that's my dilemma. I don't understand why you guys, and that's leadership. That's leadership with Billy, also leadership on this team. I don't think Zach's a good leader. I don't think he's a great leader. I don't. I think Zach does what he does, but he doesn't come across to me as a leader. I don't know who I would consider a leader on this team. Maybe Lonzo Ball, but he's just coming off an injury. I mean, I thought Alex Caruso was the leader of this team in prior seasons. But now they're leaderless. You need to have somebody on that team take control of that team. Who's it going to be? I think Io's too quiet. I don't know about Kobe White. So I don't know. I don't know who you can look toward, who you can hang your hat on saying that's the leader of this team. So when you don't have leadership, there you go. You basically paddling in circles. You have no one to lead you in a direction you need to go. And that's where this Bulls team is. I'll tell you who I do like. I'll tell you who I do think might be able to be a leader in the future, not now. And that's a maybe. I have to see him play more. That's Matas Buzelis. Matas Buzelis has been playing some phenomenal basketball. For a youngster, undersized, he's been playing some great basketball. People want him on the court. We all want him on the court more. Why? Because he rebounds, plays defense, and he has that chip on his shoulder that we love. He plays with an edge. I mean, on Monday, he gave Aaron Gordon a little chicken wing Might have stepped on his toes. Aaron Gordon fell. He's like, oh, snap, you on the ground. Crossover, one more dribble. Boom, brought it home. Didn't lay it up. Didn't finger roll it. Glass. He slammed it home. That's an attitude. That's a mentality. King Booker World says, Modest is going to turn into Chicago's off-brand Dirk. Yeah, he is, because this kid can do a lot. He can do everything. He doesn't mind rebounding. Doesn't mind playing defense. Can hit the three from the corner. Can post up. This kid's got a really nice game. I can't wait till he's 24. He's 19 now. That's 5 more years. He won't even be in his prime at 24. He won't even be in his prime at 24, but guess what? He'll have an NBA body. So I can tell you, he's going to live in that weight room. Black Diamond says, King Booker, exactly, but only if Donovan is gone, he can't develop talent. Well, you can't say that. Io's been developed. Kobe White's been developed. Even Zach has altered his game. And I don't know. If you want to give Billy the credit, if you want to give Billy all the heat for players not developing, when they develop under him, you got to give him some of the credit too. You know what I mean? Off and on, you said. Okay. Well, I think Modest is one that they're going to focus on. But more importantly, here's the most important thing: his mentality. He wants to get better. So I don't think they're going to have any issues saying, "Hey, you got to go to the weight room. Got to go to the weight room." I think he knows. He's going to work on it. And listen, when you get youngsters like that who are making contributions, who want more, and he feels look, you already know. Black Diamond, did you play any sports? Basketball, football, baseball, hockey, soccer, track? Because if you did, then you know when you're ready. You know you can, whenever you're playing, it could be you started at grammar school or you go to high school or you're staying with the kids on the block. There's a point when you play with them that you know you can play in that league at that level. I think Modest understands hoops. All right, you're a hooper, so you know what I'm talking about. So you know when you play and you get to that level and you're making positive contributions to your team. You're stealing the ball, you're getting rebounds, good assists, get a couple buckets. Not the star, but you realize, oh, I can compete at this level. I can compete at this level. I can contribute. I think that's where he's at. He's excited about it. I think he understands that he can be really good. I think, and I hope that the small taste of success for Modest really drives him. Because you can try and develop players all you want, but if you don't have that mentality, look at Patrick Williams. Look at Patrick Williams. Enough said. We know Io was going to develop. Io's Chicago, man. He's Southside. All right? He got that cold, that silent killer in him. Kobe White developed. You know what I mean? Kobe White wanted to be better. So Modest can be one of the faces of the league. But not for another 4 or 5 years. Not the face of the league, one of the faces of the league. You're stupid. King Hooker World. P will, a.k.a. P won't, a.k.a. P can't, a.k.a. P don't. You're a fool, boy. Hey, you were at the game, weren't you? King Booker World, didn't you go Monday? I thought you said you were going Monday. Did you go? Oh, my goodness. You're out of control, man. You're out of control. King Booker, well, let me know if you went Monday. I thought you said you were going Monday to the game. Oh yeah, I went. I was shocked that they won. Hey, but that place was rocking. I was watching the game. I'm like, damn, that place is rocking. They were rocking at the new Madhouse on Madison. I'm going on the 11th. So my buddy puts together outings. He gets discounted tickets. You know, we sell them, whatever. Only thing is we're in the 300 level, which kind of sucks. But it's $50. $50. We go to Output. You get one drink. You get a bus ride to the game. It's only half mile up Wood Street. Got a bus to and from. Yeah, it's cool. That's cool. So I'm going Wednesday. I mean, the 11th. I wouldn't say. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. The 11th, I'm going. That'll be a good time. I think next time he does one, I'll pay more for the 200 level just to be closer. Because the 200 level is $90 per person. And it's $90 a ticket. And here in a 300 level, it's $50. So I'm like, yeah. Probably do that next time. But yeah, man, I watched it on TV, man. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure they're going to jag that game. I thought for sure they're about to jag that game. And then they kept, what I really liked about it is Lonzo Ball. Okay. Kept them in the game. I like how every time Denver came in and hit something, Zach would come and hit a three. Laid down the stretch. Zach would hit a three. You're like, no. Oh, yes. How many times did you do that at the game? No, Zach, what the hell? Yes. Black Diamond said, have you ever sat behind the bat? I have. And it was a 100 level too. I was dating a girl. This was years ago. Maybe 15, 20 years ago. She had tickets from her boss. They're 100 level behind the basket. They're like off to the side behind the. So yeah, it was dope. It was dope. Levette Lee checking in. Good morning, Ma. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. But listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, all right, we will get to top of the morning topics. I just jumped in on the bullies and just kind of went off on a tangent, but that's all right. That's all right. So let's keep it locked right here, folks. Here you go. King Booker, I had plenty of what the fuck? Hell yeah. Moments at the game. That's how I was watching the game at home, man. That was crazy. That had to be awesome, man. And I'm hoping for a good game on the 11th. I think we're playing Detroit. I could keep screaming Detroit sucks. But anyway. Hey, just keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives. Spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
This is the third straight game, fourth straight game for Kobe White out with that foot issue. There's Giddey. Brown covers Levine. Vucevic is there for the pick. Two-man game. Vucevic, yes. There we go. That is 4 assists for Zach Levine. Here's Giddey. Takes a three and connects.
Yeah, you can see they're going to give him that shot.
As we've seen, Brown is a lot more athletic and strong than just a straight line set. Couldn't defend Levine there, though.
No, he got up to the pitch point. 41-10.
Ball takes up slack. Floats it over Jokic.
Christian Brown show. You see if the Bulls can convert here.
Here's Levine against Westbrook. Oh, he takes it. And makes it!
C to 3, B to 3.
Welcome back to Shawn and I in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Chicago Sports Network. Those are the boys. Those are the boys, baby, on Monday. So let's get right to it. Guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show, it's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
See the first top of the morning topic. We'll start there. No. We'll go here. The Blackhawks, baby. Last night, the Blackhawks defeated. Who did they play last night? Oh, yeah. They played the Tampa Bay Lightning down in Tampa Bay, 4-3. Great game by the Hawks. Arvid Soderblom, he stopped 35 shots. Connor Bedard lit the lamp for the 14th time this season. Slager for the first. Ryan Donato the 15th. And Teuvo Teravainen lit the lamp for the 11th time this season. Assists on all those goals. Seth Jones, 2 assists. 17 and 18 for the season. Foligno, his 11th. Reichel, his 11th. Kurashev, his 4th. And Dickinson, his 8th helper of the season. Great win by the boys. I love seeing it. Gets me fired up. But it doesn't stop there. Keeping it moving to the next top of the morning topic, the Blackhawks. Carolina Hurricanes tomorrow. Mañana, tomorrow. Puck drop is at 6 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sportsnet or listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. Good to see the Blackhawks win. Good to see Connor Bedard produce. And you just want to see this guy continue to get better and better because he seemed like his development was being stunted as well. And that's the last thing we want to do is stunt the growth of that son of a gun. All right, he is a generational talent. And let me tell you, he is, wow. He can be one of the best, and they just got to surround him with better players. Okay. And that's, I guess, the state of the Blackhawks. Next top of the morning topic, the Bullies, baby. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls. That's what we were talking about yesterday. Monday, the Bulls beat the Denver Nuggets 129-121. Zach LaVine led the way with 21 points. Nikola, Mr. Walking double-double with 20 points, 10 rebounds. Lonzo Ball, 18 points. Ayo, 17 points. And Josh Giddey, 12 points, 10 assists. All 5 starters were in double digits, which is a phenomenal thing to see. And I love, and that just shows you that the ball movement and that the scoring is balanced. Here's Matas. I don't know if that was after the dunk or not, but man, he was fired up after the dunk. And I'll tell you what, I was fired up after the dunk too. She's keeping it real. Because his suit, let me take this down. This. As soon as he bumped him and Aaron Gordon fell, I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Because I know what I would do. I know what I would do in that situation. I'm going to flush it on your head. You're on the ground? I'm going to flush it. And that's when he saw that. When I saw that, and he fell, and they didn't call the foul, and he looked at. They didn't call a foul. No, he knew what to do. One power dribble. Boom. I was like, oh man, that was awesome. But the fact is that he knew what to do. He wasn't going to lay it in. He wasn't going to. No soft stuff down there. Only grown men hang out down by the rim. And Montes Buzelis is slowly but surely becoming a grown-ass man. James Ford checking in. What's up, Papa? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Cornelius Squall said, man, I hate that the Bulls have to trade LaVine now that he's fully healthy. Yeah, he's looking good, man. He's looking good. But there's a whole bunch of other factors that lead to, Zach LaVine's development. Let's not forget he became a father. I'm not sure if he's married or not. But just that alone, his maturity has developed. He seems a lot more mature, which is dope. But I hear you, man. The fact that we got to trade him, we might not end up trading him. No one may want to pick up his contract. The Bulls do eat some of it. So I'm like, nah, it's too much. But keeping it with the Bulls, tonight the Bulls are in Boston. Boston's wicked pisser. Mark Wahlberg, our brother. They're in Boston to face the Celtics. Tonight, tip-off is at 6:30 Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sportsnet or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. Talked about this before, but the Bears, Ben Johnson is rounding out his coaching staff, and the coordinators are done. So he got Dennis Allen. Former head coach, former defensive coordinator for the former head coach of the New Orleans Saints, to be his defensive coordinator, which I think is awesome. We talked about it before, but we'll talk about it again some more. He got Declan Doyle as his offensive coordinator. And they retained Richard Hightower as a special teams coordinator. Kind of a shock, especially after 2 weeks in a row, field goals are blocked. I mean, I don't mind Richard Hightower. I don't. I'm cool with it. But I know a lot of other people do have issues with that. My question to you is this. Are you okay with the Declan Doyle signing? Are you? All right, because You can't say he got. Okay, maybe you can. Maybe he got his start at Iowa, all right, when his dad was there. If you recall, on Monday, Chris Doyle was the strength and conditioning coach at Iowa. He was the highest paid strength and conditioning coach in the country. I think he was making $750,000 a year. But he got asked to leave Iowa because of some racist comments he had. And if you recall, I told you I played under Chris Doyle. It's my last year at Holy Cross. After Mark Duffner left, after my junior year, we went 11-0. Finished number 3 in the country. Remember, we weren't allowed to go to the 1AA playoffs for some stupid reason. Whatever. Mark Duffner left and went to Maryland, our head coach. New coaching staff, Peter Voss, had come from Notre Dame. He's a Holy Cross alum. And his strength and conditioning, offensive line and strength and conditioning coach was Chris Doyle. So I have some history with Chris Doyle. So his son, Declan, who's 28 years old, started working at Iowa as an assistant. Now, sure, he obviously got him on the job, but the fact of the matter is he's doing all the grunt work. Shorty, Google it. He said, I can't find anything about Doyle being Ditka's nephew, though. Just Google it. Ask Siri or ask Alexa, is Declan Doyle Ditka's nephew? They are talking about him being one of, I mean, he's done it. He started at the bottom. I got a tablet over there, and I think it answered that question. So I'm okay with it. Because he wasn't just given this. And he might have been looked out for, but here's also what you want. If you're Ben Johnson, you want to start creating your own tree. This is the perfect hire. This is the perfect hire. Kid's 28. All right. You understand he's a hard worker. His ability to climb up the ranks from college and the tight ends coach in Denver. And for all intents and purposes, tight end coach is a precursor to offensive coordinator. All right, because not only are you working with the receivers, but also with the line and a lot of other issues. You have to be aware of everything as a tight ends coach and in path pro, in routes, things of that nature. So at 28, he's not going to become an offensive coordinator anytime soon. Now, he might go to a college, but if he wants to stay in the NFL, which sometimes guys want to do, or he might maybe he'll go to college, but not after he gets more experience. And what better person to get experience from than Ben Johnson? All right, so I look at it this way. I don't think Doyle's going anywhere for at least 4 to 5 years. At least. And at that particular point, he'll be 33-ish. 32, 33, depending. Maybe that another year, 34. And at college may come along and say, hey, listen, we want you as an offensive coordinator. And he might leave at that particular point. And I'm okay with that. But after 4 or 5 years, we should have been to a Super Bowl at that point. And especially if we get to a Super Bowl. Okay? But if we get in the playoffs consistently deep, get to a couple NFC championship games, I'm okay with it because we still have the actual play caller. We still have the actual architect of this offense. And basically, I don't want to say he's going to be his lackey, but he's going to be doing everything to set everything up so when Ben comes, it's like a doctor. You know when a doctor, you have a doctor and you're going into surgery. Doctor doesn't set out his own instruments. No, all that shit's all that shit is there. They're ready for him when he goes into the OR. All right. That's basically what Declan Doyle is going to be doing. You'll be running a scout team. You're going to be getting all these things. Once you prepare the game plan, you're going to get it disseminated to all the other position coaches. As the offensive coordinator, that's your job. Okay, I don't know when, if he's going to be holding meetings, which I doubt. But also, I think Ben's going to hold the meetings, but he's going to be the right-hand man. And kind of grooming him, take him under his wing. Okay, and this is how you run a meeting as an offensive coordinator. So I'm okay with it. I'm more than okay with it. Now, his dad, on the other hand, I have an issue with. But we're not talking about that. One of my players, if you recall, one of my players from Curie, Maurice, played for Doyle at Iowa. And yeah, he said he would make some interesting comments. So, oh no, okay. My guy Junior's daughter. That's what Monica does. She preps the instruments for the doctor for surgery. Yeah. So she's Declan Doyle. She's Declan Doyle. Or Declan Doyle is Monica Lara. That's awesome. That's awesome. But I'm okay with it. I'm good. I really am. And I like. Remember when I taught. This is why I'm very fortunate to have the experiences I have, because it forms my opinions. Remember when I told you that the most important coaching when you move to the next level is your first year or two. First 2 years, but most importantly, that first year. Remember that? Remember that? Which is why we kept saying coaching matters. All right, with Justin, with Mitch. Same thing here. See, now he's going from so he's in Denver. Okay. Sean Payton, what a hell of a mind to learn from there. What a hell of a mind to learn from there. And as a tight ends coach, yeah, come on, man. You have a phenomenal mind you're learning from. Then you come here. But now you're in a new role as an offensive coordinator. Your first thing, your path to being a true offensive coordinator, and now you're working under Ben Johnson. When you learn from coaches that first year, and he'll be here for a couple, I say at least 4 to 5 years he'll be here. What a great way to start your education as an offensive coordinator. Declan Doyle is going to be a good offensive coordinator in about 10 years. 10 to 12 years, maybe sooner. Maybe sooner. And Moss, you're a damn fool. I want Dylan the Bear to come out and say he's from the Ditka sperm tree. Oh man, that's hilarious. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. But this kid may end up he might be the next prodigy. He might be the next hot offensive coordinator. I'm telling you, he may not go from this to another offensive coordinator gig. He may end up going to college, running an offense there, having a quarterback put up crazy numbers, stay there for 2 or 3 years, then come back to the NFL. Because I don't know if they're going to give you a first time. I mean, it's possible. Don't get me wrong. It's possible. They're not going to give you the OC job as a first time in the NFL. They want to see you have some experience calling plays. Most people. Hell, even Luke Getsy was in college and called for 1 year. But if he does, this kid could be pretty good. Shawn said, I'm going to call him the prodigy. Yeah, it's probably what he is. Probably what he is. But I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. You know, the kid worked his way up. He didn't rely on his dad's name, although I don't know if he wanted to rely on it after all the backlash his dad got. Had to step down from Iowa, and then he stepped down from – what team was he in the NFL? He was with an NFL team. He had to step down from there too. So his dad has been – I don't want to say blackballed. But he's been on the do not hire list for a minute. Hopefully he saved his money. And coaches usually do, because usually when you're married, you let the wives take care of the money because you're never around. You're always at the facility. You're always at the university. You're always at the facility if you're in the pros. And let them run the house. All right. After the draft, I mean, there's certain times of the year where we can do a family thing, go to a play, do something, go to dinner, whatever. But for all intents and purposes, you're all, mama raises the kids. Really, Shorty, you're having a problem. Did you ask? I don't know if you have an iPhone or not, or if you have an Android. Just ask the question. Hey Siri, blah 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 blah. I can't answer the question because my phone will answer. But just say, hey Siri, hey Alexa, and answer the question. You do have an iPhone, okay? Yeah, that's what I did. Just check it out, see if you can get the answer that way. Confirm it for yourself that way. So, but I'm happy. I'm excited for where this team's going. I really am, and I look forward to this team doing well this year. I don't know if they're going to take the North and never give it back this year, but I think in 2026 is our window opens, and we'll be perennial playoff contenders at that point. But listen, let's take another quick break. And on the other side of that break, we're going to welcome my guy, Herb Howard. All right, we're going to talk with Herb about the hire and the coordinators, the coaches, and everything to this point. All right. And then afterwards, Black Diamond will go over your mock draft. We'll go over your mock draft. All right. Cool. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. Zit is huge. Zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
This offense will be calibrated with him in mind. We're going to build this thing. This is not simply a dropping of a previous playbook down on the table and starting there. Nope. We're ripping this thing down to the studs, and we're going to build it up with him first and foremost, and then with the pieces around him next. I really look forward to challenging him and pushing him, as I said before, to continue to grow and develop. Yeah, I think offensive line is certainly an area that we need to get better play from going forward, something that Ryan and I have already talked about. We will develop a plan of attack for how to get that done, but I'm looking forward to getting an excellent offensive line coach into the building to help develop the young talent that we already have on the roster.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those comes courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That is that dude. That's the man, 50 grand. That is our new head coach, Ben Johnson. For all the people who know OG Bobby Johnson. Showing my age here, but that's all right. I'm excited. And he wasn't my first choice, but it doesn't mean he's not a great choice. And I think he is. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. And remember, that got me excited, got me giddy like a little girl when he said, we're going to break this down and build it up with him in mind. Holy shit, crazy idea. Crazy idea that you build the offense around the skill set of your quarterback. Does anyone else know about that? How ingenious. Well, my guest today, I'm fired up to have him on. You know, I love talking football with him. Good friend of the for years. He's the beat writer for the Bigs. You can find him on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya. My man's in them, Herb Howard. Herb, what's up, Baba? How are you?
You J-Rock Daddy? Hey, man, I was just talking about that movie the other day, man. That is an absolute classic. You talk about OG Bobby Johnson, man. My bad, brother. I'm good, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's going on? Hold on. I got to see. Mom's is called the lift, and this car was supposed to pick her up, but it's not her. Oh, well. Yeah, dude, that's a classic movie, and I am looking forward to this guy. I like what this guy has done. I like well, you tell me, how are you about the hire? And because you said, remember, you said I want to wait till we get a coach. So what are you thinking about this guy now in his staff that he's comprised so far?
Yeah, I think it's really cool that the Bears have done kind of the obvious thing. It's not often that the Bears actually do, the obvious thing that's right there in front of them. I think that Ben Johnson was, the premier candidate in this coaching cycle. Whether he was your particular favorite or my particular favorite, I think he was the premier candidate. I know that Mike Vrabel went to the Patriots before, but the history, that was a different situation. And so it's cool that the Bears went out and got, the guy. Now, only time will tell if he is that guy, but for this coaching cycle, he was definitely the guy. And so it's cool that the Bears got him. I thought he said all the right things at his introductory press conference, which most coaches tend to do, except Liam Cohen down in Jacksonville. That Duval thing was terrible. They're gonna run him out of there. He'd do that Duval like that again. But I thought that Coach Johnson, for the most part, showed himself pretty good, expressed his plan for what he wants to do. I, too, like you, was very impressed by the fact that he said, I'm going to tear this thing down to the studs and build this thing around what Caleb does and what the rest of these players do well, not coming here and just drop down the Lions playbook and say, hey, you go be Amon-Ra St. Brown and you go be Jamison Williams and you go be Penei Sewell, because those are different skill sets. You don't have Jahmyr Gibbs' skill set on this roster right now. And so what you do have is some guys that can play some ball, and you figure out what they do best, and you build that system around them. I was very, very happy to hear that. I was also impressed with his confidence. I had a chance to ask him in the breakout session, after the main press conference, just about, his confidence and where it comes from. And, he was like, man, at all three stops before I was now the Bears head coach, when I was the OC, when I was the tight ends coach, when I was quality control, so I was the very best at it. And I was like, well, go ahead, man, pop your shit. Like, go ahead. You know what I mean? So, I'm right. I'm cool with that, man. And so, obviously you got to back that up. Like I said, only time will tell, whether or not it was a home run hire, but I think it was a good hire and could certainly turn out to be a very, very good decision by Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, and the rest of the Bears organization.
How surprised were you that the Bears got him? All right. I mean, how many times have we've never really had the bell of the ball? All right. He was the hottest coordinator out there, and he had a resume. He wasn't, calling 2 plays a year like Matt Nagy was. All right. This dude was a hot candidate last year as a head coach. We all knew his offense is his offense. It's not a variation. He's not part of this tree, that tree. Really, it's really kind of his whole thing. And he not only did we choose him, he chose us.
Yeah.
How excited were you in that? The fact that somebody chose this cesspool of craziness to decide to run.
Hey, ignorance is bliss, man. He don't what he don't know hasn't hurt him yet. You know what I mean? So he, hopefully he doesn't come to find out what so many people have come to find out, and that is that, seemingly entering Hallis Hall brings out the worst in people, from players to coaches to administrators. So, we'll find out. But I think that it was really cool for the Bears to actually go out and get him. Like I was saying, they don't typically get the guy in any particular cycle, whether you're talking about head coach, free agency, whatever. We've gotten Khalil Mack before, and we got Jay Cutler, but usually we're looking for second, third tier guys, and that includes during the coaching cycles that we've gone through. And so forth. I think it's really, really cool that they went out and got, the top guy in this particular coaching cycle. I was very pleasantly surprised by the fact that ownership, George McCaskey, was willing to put up the money that it was going to take to secure the top candidate. I asked Ryan Poles that during his press conference at that same day, and he said no, it was never an issue. I asked him what was the conversation like when he had to go to George and say, hey, we might have to dig a little deep in the pocketbook on this one. Is that cool? And he's like, nah. He said, whatever y'all need, y'all got it. And, that hasn't, like I said, always been the case around here. So that was cool to hear, man. I think it's just another sign of some of the things that you're starting to see change now that Kevin Warren has taken over as president and CEO of this football team. And so there were lots of questions about, okay, what is he doing here? We haven't really seen these tangible changes. I think you're starting to see some of those tangible changes now, and I think we've joked about them before. Small changes that we've seen, the food in the press box at Soldier Field, how that improved the moment he got there. But those were small things that really did kind of matter, right? Those were small things that really did kind of matter. I remember we walked into Hallis Hall, into the media room, I think the first week last year, or maybe it was the year before. I think it was last year. Come in there and there's these gifts. There's these gifts for the beat, and I think that was cool, right? I mean, it was just like some Bears book bags or something like that, but it was cool stuff that certainly hadn't happened before. And it was like, okay, there's some small tangible changes that you can start to see, but now you can see those things happen in the football operations. You can see the Bears willing to go out and go get the top candidate in the coaching cycle. And so I think that bodes well for, how the Bears are being run and organized right now structurally in terms of decision making, but also in terms of how they're perceived around the league. They've been perceived so long as people who don't get involved in the major things. They don't spend top dollar for the top prospects. And I think now you get to see them do something like this, and it gives them just a little bit of cachet in terms of what they're willing to do on the football side, but also even on the business side. If you're Arlington Heights, you got to start looking at this thing a little different now and say, wait a minute now. All right, they've got what could be, one of the best young quarterbacks for a decade. Now they got what could become one of the best young coaches in the league for the next 10 years. Do we want to be a part of that? Do we want that party right here in our backyard every week?
You mean tax dollars?
Right? I mean, that's what the thing. That's what this thing was all about the entire time, though, right? So if once the Bears did this thing backwards, which the Bears tend to do, we can talk about doing it backwards with Ryan Poles the first time. I thought he did a good job in what to me was essentially his very first coaching search. I don't think he had an opportunity to have a real coaching search when Matt Eberflus was hired. They had 3 finalists before they hired Ryan Poles, and so that's not allowing you to go on a coaching search. I think this was his first time. I think he did a good job with it, ultimately getting the guy that I think they wanted from the start. But the same thing happened with Kevin Warren. You guys went and bought this land for $200 million, then brought him in and say, hey, close the deal on the taxes. He's like, close the deal on the taxes? Y'all bought the land without doing that? Now I have no leverage. Arlington Heights like, we don't have to give y'all nothing. Y'all already paid for the land. Miss me with it, right? The Bears are not a real estate company. They don't buy $200 million properties to flip them. That's not what they were doing. They wanted to build a stadium there. Arlington Heights understood that. And with no leverage, Kevin Warren then had to go on this campaign all around the state and, Northwest Indiana. We'll put the stadium here. We'll put the stadium there. I think, and I've said all along, it'll ultimately go in Arlington Heights. But now you start to see some of these moves, and I think that it gives you just a little bit more cachet and a little bit more of a bargaining chip when you go to the table and say, hey, don't you want to be a part of this?
As we're joined by Herb Howard, he's the Bears beat writer for the Bigs, talking Bears football here at Shawn and Maya in the morning.
Shout out to the chat. I see the love out there. Good morning.
Yeah, everyone loves it. They love them some Herb. Do you think now that the McCaskies, especially George, will finally take a step back and let it be run because of all the changes you did say? I mean, opening up the pockets, rumored, it never really been confirmed, but is rumored that he's been getting paid around $13 million. That's a nice grip.
Yeah.
The 6th or 7th highest paid coach without calling one down, one play. You know what I mean? Do you think that this is a signal that the McCaskies have really decided to back off and just enjoy the fruits of their labor and let real football people run it?
Yeah, I hope so, man. I mean, the price is the price, right? And so, if that's what it costs to get the top candidate, then that's what you're going to have to go out there and spend. And so you can talk about, he's making more than John Harbaugh's making. Whatever. That's the price during this cycle. And when John Harbaugh re-ups, I'm sure he'll, surpass that again. And so whatever the numbers is, I've heard $13 million. I've heard as much as $15 million. But whatever the number is, if that's what it costs, that's what it cost. And it was good to see that George McCaskey was willing to pony up and say, hey, if you guys think it's worth it, here's the money, go do it. And I think it is another sign that they are starting to turn the corner in terms of, what they're willing to do and what they're willing to spend. I think we also saw that with the fact the Bears were willing to fire their head coach midseason for the first time ever, right? Now they botched it again because, like we said, with the other two situations, the Bears do things backwards, right? So they had Matt Eberflus, Coach Eberflus, go out there and do his press conference and then fire him right after that. That was backwards, and it was a very wrong thing to do, but they had to wait for George McCaskey to get to the building to give them permission to do it, right? And to his credit, once he got there, he gave them permission to do it, which they've never done before. So I think that's just another tangible thing to say, okay, they let him fire the coach midseason. They went out and spent top dollar. They're starting to change some of these things about, how they go about their business. So I think hopefully, that continues, and it should be a good sign.
What positions do you think are going to be most addressed or changed now that Ben Johnson?
Which ones?
I want to know. I want to hear your side.
You know which ones, right? What it better be right now is the offensive line, right? I mean, it has to be about fixing this offensive line immediately. It's cool that he designs great plays. It's cool that he's able to scheme up, his skill players and get them in positions to take advantage of their mismatches or whatever. But if you don't have time, it's not going to matter. If you're getting constant pressure up the A gap, it doesn't matter. You still got a young quarterback who still needs to be comfortable in the pocket to take time to scan the field and get to the second, third read if he needs to. And so right now, they got to be able to protect this offensive line. And so, before we can get to, what he's going to do for DJ Moore or Rome Odunze or Cole Kmet, what is he going to do with the offensive line? It has to be number one. I know that DJ Moore is a great football player. I believe that Rome Odunze can develop into a great football player. I believe in the talent that Cole Kmet has and, has yet to be consistently unlocked. I believe in those guys. But so what if you can't protect, if you can't get them the ball? So I think, before we can get into how excited we are about what is going to dial up scheme-wise to get those guys open, you got to be able to protect them first.
You thinking Braxton Jones stays as a starting left tackle or number, or at least you're gonna have some first round competition, or what are your thoughts?
If it's me, his days are numbered. And I've always liked Braxton Jones. One, because he has maximized his talent. I think if he never starts another game for the Bears, that was a net positive for Ryan Post. He can put that in the win column for drafting a 5th round, left tackle out of Southern Utah and then getting, 3 years of starter production out of him. And so, that's a win. But I do think he's gotten close to his ceiling, right? He's serviceable in the way, that Charles Leno was serviceable. But never gonna be. But Charles Leno was, again, he was like 6th, 7th round tackle out of Boise. Like you got the most out of him, and then he went and got himself another contract with Washington. So good for him. Maybe Braxton has the same type of trajectory, but if you're talking about having elite offensive linemen, there's a level that you can upgrade there. I'm not mad at having Braxton Jones. I think you can do a lot worse than Braxton Jones, but I also know that you can do a lot better.
Yeah, you darn sure could. What are you thinking about the draft at number 10? Are you thinking O-line, or if because we've most likely the two guys, who's the kid from LSU? Oh goodness, that offensive lineman from LSU, Campbell, is it?
Will.
And then, Will. And then there was a guy from there were two the young man from Texas. If they're gone, do you sit there and go try and get an edge, or do you trade back and try and get more picks? What do you do with that first pick that we have at number 10?
Yeah, man. So I'll first say that I'm not the college guy. Like I'm not one of those dudes who does work on 1,000 kids in college for the Bears to pick through and find 4 or 5 of them. I don't know all of them kids. I really, really don't. I know what the Bears need, and what they need is a new offensive line. How they go about addressing that, Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, handle y'all business. I know they down at Mobile at the Senior Bowl right now. Depending on how they address free agency will dictate what they do in the draft, right? So free agency is going to be first. Mm-hmm. I know they got the Senior Bowl and the Shrine and the Combine, but you got free agency. And so once they get through free agency, what holes can they fill there? Do they fill interior holes, or do they fill the exterior holes on the offensive line? And depending on what they do there, that'll dictate what happens in the draft. I know this isn't a big free agent year in terms of tackles, but if they do go out and spend and get a tackle that they feel good about, then maybe they start to look on the interior in the draft, and maybe that allows them some flexibility to move back in the draft, do some things there, because you usually don't see those guys go, top 10. So it just depends. It depends on how free agency plays out. I always wait to after free agency to say, okay, now I'm pretty sure that they're going to be going after this position or targeting this guy, and then I'll start to do a little bit more work on some of those guys. But they got to do whatever they got to do to flip this whole line, man. They could use as many as 4. I'd be okay with 3 if they just flip the 3 interior guys. And I've always been a tevinjenkins fan, and I still am. But you just can't depend on them. The health just isn't there, and so I don't know how you go about extending him to a long-term deal. If they work out a 1-year deal or something like that, maybe. But you still got to have the insurance plan, behind him. And so those 3 interior spots, I think you got to address those. And then I would also address the left tackle spot as well if you're going to do it. So, they got to go about the business of finding 4 new guys there, and they need another addition or 2 on the defensive side of the ball also. So, I think they got enough resources with free agency and the draft capital to go out and get talent on both sides of that offensive of the line of scrimmage. If they can do that, they'll be fine. Who those guys are, I'm not going to pretend to have done a ton of work on them because I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I definitely think they got to get an edge, someone opposite Montez Sweat. Obviously Abdul Carter is going to be the first one or two people taken in the draft this year, so he most likely won't fall.
Nice, man.
He's like any defensive line coach. Like his motor. Remember, he was playing with one arm. His left arm was all jacked up.
You watching them play, and you feel like you're looking at Micah Parsons. I know they wear the number 11, and I wore number 11 when I played, and I wore it for the same reason. Well, maybe one of the same reasons that they wear it. It was LeVar Arrington at Penn State, and he still is one of the best college players I've ever seen. LeVar Arrington was just an absolute animal at Penn State wearing that number 11, and he and Dante Culpepper were the reasons that I wore number 11. But seeing Carter, he on the field, he looks and moves like Micah Parsons, and it's like, dude, they got another Micah Parsons at Penn State, and now somebody else.
That, bro?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. But
game wrecker every couple of years, they get the same dude who wrecks shop, and it looks like a monster, plays like a monster. Like they go to the monster store or something. Like
they go to the monster store at down at State College, man. They got to be. And like you said, man, he's dominating in the CFP with one arm. Like, bruh, somebody deal with that, man. Like he's got one arm. He can't use it. He's coming around the corner with his off arm and then swimming under with his off arm and finishing the sack with his off arm. It's like,
did he play a sling?
Somebody he might as well. Because he couldn't use it. It was like, it's this dude. But it wasn't really slowing him down. You can tell that he wasn't playing passive forward. He was still full pursuit to the ball, running through ball carries across the field. It's like, hey, this dude is an absolute problem. Whoever gets him is probably getting the best player in the country. No diss to Travis or none of them quarterbacks should do or them tackles, but that dude is a monster.
Yeah, when you wreck the game like that. And I was upset at the offense. I was upset, like, why aren't you chipping them? Why aren't you hitting that bad shoulder? Why aren't you get a running back, get a lot of tight end? Every time that left shoulder is getting hit. Every single time. That'll slow your ass down.
Every snap I'm lining right on that outside shoulder, and I'm boom, boom, every single time. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was nuts. Talk to you about the running back position. Do you think that we're going to upgrade at that position because, his obviously in Detroit he had two, one of our former players, but he had two good, kind of like a thunder and lightning kind of thing. Do you think he upgrades? Because it's a good draft for running backs, a very deep class in running backs. Do you think he upgrades that, or do you think that DeAndre Swift is that dude, him and Roschon Johnson?
I think it's good practice to draft a running back every year, right? Because you can get a good one, a very good one, in the mid to late rounds. That 4 to 6 round range, you can always find good backs there that can come in and be, 1,000-yard backs for you. So I think you should always draft one. I am not as down on DeAndre Swift as some people were in terms of thinking that he just, wasn't productive and didn't run hard and couldn't, break tackles. I thought he did. I thought he did run hard. I thought he had a pretty solid year. And, people talk about the offensive line that Caleb played behind. I'm not sure if they're aware of this, but DeAndre Swift played behind the same offensive line. And so if we're going to talk about, or mitigate some of the things that we saw from Caleb because of that offensive line, you got to do the same thing with DeAndre. But I think he still has a very unique skill set that, again, if you're going to build your system around what your players do well, you should be able to use a back like DeAndre. Now, if you want to add another back to that complements his skill set, cool, no problem. Not sure what Roschon Johnson's role is going to be. I know they tried to use him as the short yard goal line back. And, maybe that works for him, maybe it doesn't. I remember when he came out, was it 2 years ago now for Roschon Johnson? Yeah. And just the conversation around him was just strange to me. And it's not a knock on the player or the kid. I think he's a cool dude and a solid player. But the conversation was like he was going to come in here and enter the Mount Rushmore of Bears running backs. Like it's going to be, Gale Sayers, Walter Payton, Matt Forte, and Roschon Johnson. It was like, wait a minute, he's gonna knock off like. No, he's not. And so that was just strange to me. It was a backup running back. You know, Bijan got the majority of the carry. So it was just strange to me, the conversation that was around him at the time. And, you know, if they want to go about upgrading there, that's cool. I think you should always draft a running back and then just let it play out in camp. If they draft a running back, I wouldn't draft one before the 4th round. I mean, I know there are some good ones that may be there. You know, I'm hearing 2nd, 3rd round. People talk about Genty in the 1st round. That would be insane. That's a luxury pick the Bears don't have right now. The Bears don't have that luxury right now when you need so much help in the trenches. And so, yeah, I would definitely say I expect them to draft a running back at some point. Drafting to be the feature back, I don't know. I'm fine with DeAndre Swift being your starting running back. You want to add somebody to complement him, that's cool too.
I was very surprised at DeAndre Swift. I didn't think he'd be able to run between the tackles as well as he did.
Yeah.
Out of his that one touchdown run, he was right up the middle, shook the hell out of the linebacker and was out.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I stood corrected. You know, I said I didn't think he was able to run between the tackles, and he did, and he was a lot tougher than I thought he would be. And obviously on the outside, we saw what he could do on the outside. And I was very happy with what he did. And we talked about the conversation about Roschon. Everything we talked about wasn't that he was a good football player. It was that he was a great person. It was like, he's such a great character. He's such a great person, such a great person. I'm like, okay, but is he a good running back? What's the first qualification as a running back? He's a great person. He makes you want to be a better person. I'm like, I don't want football players.
He cleans up after himself and others in the meeting room.
Yeah, like that's superfluous. Nobody cares.
That's great. That and $3 will get you a bus ticket on the CTA. Like, that's cool. Like, and I don't want to diss Roschon because I do like the person, and I don't have any real issues with the player, but it's just like this idea of what it was when he drafted him was just strange to me. And I look at DeAndre Swift, and I had a conversation with him about this as the narrative kind of went along, and so many people were just down on him. I was like, "Hey, are you hearing this? And do you feel a way about it?" I was like, "Because I honestly, and I'm always honest with them guys about whatever. You know, I mess with Jalen Johnson all the time about, you know, if he drop a pick that I think he should have had or any of them dudes." And so I told him, though, I'm watching you play. I don't see you running soft. I see you, you know, being decisive. I see you hitting the hole. I see you making one cut and trying to get north. And then you see the explosiveness too. And he told me, he was like, "Man, that's bullshit." Like, he's like, "Yeah, I heard the narrative and it's bullshit." And I think he was right. I don't know what people really wanted him to do. I don't know what they wanted him to do. When the opportunities were there, I thought he was productive. I thought there were a couple drives where he got him down to the goal line, and then they pulled him and, you know, let Roschon get a touchdown. That's cool too. You got your short yardage back. Go ahead. I'm not mad at that. But I know he was. I could see it, you know, visibly on the field. So I'm perfectly fine with DeAndre Swift, and I think that Coach Johnson will find a way to utilize him.
Oh, he would definitely find a way to utilize that joker, man, because especially after he already had him. He's been up there. You know what I mean? So he's definitely going to be able to use him. I'm glad he's familiar with his skill set.
I do think it's interesting that he didn't want him, right? I think that if you want to have that conversation, cool, yeah. Right? Because he didn't want him. I think he got rid of him after Ben Johnson's first year as OC. I think that's when they got rid of him, sent him to Philly. Then he comes here. Now, I think that's a conversation you might want to have, and maybe that's something that's got to be hashed out, or, you know, some adjustments got to be made to, you know, what he wanted him to do and what he was able to, whatever. But that part of the conversation, interesting enough. But, you know, just DeAndre Swift isn't good. I don't like that.
No, whoever can try and put those words together don't know. They got an agenda, or they just don't know football.
Everybody's going to fall off. Everybody's going to fall off. Everybody's going to get a little bit better when they get to Philly, and then everybody's going to fall off a little bit because that offensive line is different, right? I'm to the point now watching Saquon, and I'm like, he's one of the best running backs I've ever seen. Like in that conversation with all the best running backs I've ever seen, like back to, you know, Jim Brown, Sweetness, Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson. He's one of the best backs I've ever seen. I'm like, gosh, this dude is crazy, man. And the way
Imagine
he
if
jumped
never got hurt.
The way he jumped from A gap to C gap and then exploded all in like one step. I said, first of all, the vision, then the feet and the burst was like, that's just rare stuff. Yeah, man, it was insane. The one that put away, not the Washington game, whoever they beat, the game before that, was it Detroit or who was it? The Rams. The one that put away the Rams. When he pressed the A gap, hopped from A all the way out to C, and then accelerated in one move, was like, hey, man, this dude is different. This dude is different. But again, you're getting his best year behind that Philly O-line.
Man, who you telling? Because that's without after losing All-Pro Jason Kelsey. That's after losing that dude, man. And that he's a special character, man. And just watching him and I love watching it because the way that the offensive line gets to their run fits is a thing of beauty. Like if you're an O-line freak, like you get a chubby watching them get to the combo one, get to the next level.
For real.
And the whole and I love when they have the camera behind the play, and it's right over the huddle or the line of scrimmage, and you just get to see the holes. It's like boom, boom. He chips, boom, gets the linebacker, and you're like, I'm going here, in and out, boom, running back, in and out, and he's gone. The way that they get to their run fits, the way it's methodical. Really, it's methodical, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And then you get a guy with that talent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could have a guy, you can have the run fits and still not be able to break it for 70. But you get a guy like that who spins on the outside, or once he sees you, he explodes and he destroys the angle that you had coming down, and he's like, oh shit, and he's done that all year long. I mean, what, he had six or seven 60-yard runs?
It's insane to run with that kind of power and contact balance, but also have the home run speed to finish it from 80 is insane. And
80,
what also happens is you get the trust from the running back, right? You know this better than anybody. You get the trust from the running back when you've been consistently blocked for properly and those holes are there. You know those lanes are going to be there. You hit that thing a little bit different. Whereas you playing behind the O-line of Chicago, you're like, it's not usually there. I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm pitter-pattering a little bit versus, we full speed ahead. We one cut, we jump cut, we decisive, because it's just like playing quarterback, right? There's the cumulative effect to being hit over and over again in the backfield. And so when you get the ball and you 6-7 yards deep, and before you can even get to the line of scrimmage, you're already facing initial contact, that starts to bother you. You don't hit the line of scrimmage the same way. And you can say that it should, but it just doesn't happen. There's a cumulative effect to those types of things, just like with the quarterback getting happy feet in the pocket, even on the times when you are protected, because you're like, well, I've been sacked 70 times. I'm not usually protected. So I feel away right now, right? And so running backs are the same way. When you have an offensive line in front of you that you trust, you press that hole a little bit different. You make those decisive cuts a little bit more aggressively.
Yeah, and he's an awesome talent. So who you thinking in the Super Bowl? I know we're talking Bears, but who you think? Have you made up your mind who you want in the Super Bowl? Chiefs.
So in my well, I was going to show you my DraftKings, but I don't actually want to put it on the screen to show what the actual bet was. But in September, I picked Philly to win the Super Bowl, and now DraftKings is offering me a decent settlement, and I'm thinking about cashing out on it because the bet has done enough for me right now to go ahead and cash out on it. But I really think they're the best team. I thought they would have the best roster, coming into the season. And I know they had the game where Saquon dropped a touchdown at the goal line early in the season, like week 2 or something. They lost that. And then Sirianni did a couple things. It cost them another game. They were talking about firing him. I'm like, they got the best team in the league. I don't know why you want to fire the dude. And so they got the thing, they got their ship righted. And I still think they have the best roster. Now, the problem is they got to go see 15. And that's why I'm thinking about taking the cash out, because it's 15. If it wasn't 15, then I would be like, yeah, let's play it on through. I'll take all of it because I think that the Eagles are going to win. I still think the Eagles are going to win, but Mahomes is a scary, scary dude to bet against. And so, you know, as the kickoff draws near, I might get a little antsy and hit the button on this cash out they're trying to offer. But I picked Philly in September. I'm gonna stick with them.
I hope, I'm praying, because first of all, and it's very contradictory, because we had a three-peat here. We had two of them. Okay. But I just don't want to see them. I don't want to see them win. I mean, and I'm a hypocrite. I know, because Patrick Mahomes gets all the calls. There was a team that says, you know why Patrick Mahomes wears 15? Because that's how many yards you get if you hit him, if you touch him.
Yep.
Shit, but it's like that with Mike, though.
Hey, like when you're that dude, you get the calls. You know, when you're that dude, you get the calls. And I'm not. I don't have no problem with the Chiefs, man. I tend to be a fan of excellence, and you know what they've done. You know, since he's been there, and he doesn't know what it's like to. He thinks the season is at least 18 games long. Right? He thinks he's supposed to get to the conference championship game every single time, and so you know, I don't have an issue with that. I really, really don't. I just think that Philly is better, and I would like to see, you know, Jalen Hurts and those guys get one. But if they were playing, like if Detroit had made it or Minnesota had made it, I'd be 100% rooting for the Chiefs. But I'm rooting for Philly.
Yeah, I want Philly too. I just, you know, me being a running back, I love how he's brought a resurgence to the running back position, him and King Henry and a couple other guys in this league. I love that. And I think that offensive line paired with that super running back of Saquon Barkley, I thought it was a match when he went there. I can't believe the Giants, maybe they're just fronting. They're like, yeah, we'll be okay. I'm like, you said one of the best running backs in the league go to the team with the best offensive line in the league? You're crazy? You'll be okay?
I don't think they're ever going to do Hard Knocks offseason again, because the Giants, as good as that thing, that may have been the best Hard Knocks I've seen. At least maybe since the old one, back when like the Baltimore Ravens did it with Ray Lewis and Shannon Sharp and Sarah Goose and them. Like that may have been the best one I've seen, the offseason one with the Giants. There was so much access. You saw so many things. You saw the negotiations with Saquon and all of that up until the point where they let him go. And then you get John Mara coming there like, man, we're going to let go of Saquon. And he's like, we'll be okay. It's like, y'all won't be okay. Y'all won't be okay. He's going right down I-95, and he's gonna hop on the turnpike, and he's gonna go win MVP. I think Jonathan Allen. Yeah, I think Josh Allen will probably win it, but Saquon went down there and had that type of season, and you got to watch that. You got to see it twice in your division, and that's just tough, man. So I don't think you'll ever see that kind of access on the offseason, because you got to see all the mistakes that they made and the good things they did. They targeted Malik Neighbors, went out and got him. He had a really good year. So you got to see some of that stuff too. But that Saquon Barkley fiasco was not good for the Giants and their GM. Yeah, because they said, we're not going to pay Saquon. We're going to play Daniel Jones. Well, let Saquon walk. Oh, yeah, and by the way, middle of the season, let's cut Daniel Jones. So now you got none of them. That's not good.
Not good at all. And we think, and we're so caught up in beardom, like we don't realize other teams are freaking stupid too.
Yeah, it's not just us.
It really isn't. And you wonder,
a lot of teams have been bad for a long time.
How do people get these jobs? And that's the crazy thing. Like, how do these guys, these GMs, and it's like, dude, like, what needs to be done, but you don't do it. You know who you need to sign, but you don't do it. And it's like you sit there and you go, I've wondered this for a long time. Like, how does this dude get this job when everything is literally there? You know what needs to be done, and you just don't do it, and you keep your job. I have no idea how these jokers get these jobs.
I was listening to Mike Florio one day, and he was talking about. He said, "Man, you got to take 2 tests to be able to drive a car." He says, there's no test to be an NFL owner. If you got the money, you can buy the team. Nobody's going to ask you like, hey, what do you know about football? Or, hey, what do you know about this? What do you know about the NFL? You got the money, you can buy the team. And that's just it. And now you got these dudes who just got the money running football teams like they know what's going on, and they don't. They don't. And he was like, and that's half of them, the ones that just have the money and they go and buy the team. So the other half, they just inherit the team. They just hit the reproductive lottery. Like they just came out like, hey, in a little while I'm going to own the Bears. And it's like, oh, okay. Well,
you marry the daughter of an owner and you screw out his other side.
Screw
over that side of the family.
So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, there's no real, qualifications to own a team. And then when that happens, you don't really have what it takes to know who should then be running the team, right? I own the team, but I don't know nothing about football to even know then who should I put in place to run it. And so you get all these guys that's just like, okay, and doesn't work out.
Because you just want to own a team because you're making $400 million a year. Literally, that's what each team makes, except Green Bay, because it goes to the $400 million a year. That's a nice little return on investment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if you spent $3 billion.
I'd say so.
You know what I mean? You get that back in 6 years, 8 years. You know what I mean? $400 million. So, yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Herb, great stuff, man. Me and you can sit and talk football for hours, bro. But I know you guys.
You know that.
You guys.
You know that. It's always fun. Every time I look up and you be like, "Hey, I gotta talk to somebody else." I'm like, "Talk to somebody else." Why? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, man. It's always nice to come on and talk ball with you, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, likewise, man. Hey, before you go though, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
No doubt, man. You can follow me on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. You can follow my work at It's the Bigs. Shout out to the whole squad over at the Bigs, man. Definitely appreciate everybody, man, tuning in and following the work. It's going to be another interesting offseason for the Bears. They've been seemingly the talk of the league for now 3 off seasons, going back to, when they had the number 1 pick and then traded it for the haul, and then last year with Caleb, and now you're back here again with Ben Johnson, the new coach. And so, it'll be another interesting offseason for the Bears, and make sure y'all stay tuned as this thing unfolds.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I'll tell you, sit back. Like our old Uncle Hawk Harrelson used to say, sit back, relax, and strap it down. It's going to be interesting, man. And we got to get a new line coach now still. Are you cool with the coordinator? I'm cool with the coordinators. Are you cool with Declan?
Yeah, I mean, some people are like, oh, how does this guy get the job? It doesn't matter, right? He's an OC in name only. He's essentially the assistant OC. This is Ben Johnson's offense. He's going to call the plays. Whoever he thought could come in and work well with him and do kind of the behind-the-scenes work that he needs to get done, good. If it's a 28-year-old kid, good for the 20-year-old kid. We'll see, what that means for Declan Doyle. That's cool. I like that he brought in Antoine Randall. I thought that bringing in Dennis Allen, a veteran defensive coordinator who's been a head coach, who can help him with some of those things as well, is a really good thing. He's a guy that you can kind of let go on the defense while Ben Johnson spends as much time as he feels he needs to with Caleb in the offense. And then I thought bringing back Coach Hightower was a really, really good move. I was really, really happy about that. And that's a good sign that Coach Johnson may actually be smart, because if something isn't broke, you don't necessarily need to fix it. And so you got a good coach that was already here to run that special teams. He knows the roster. He knows these guys well. Let them stay in place. And so I was glad that he brought Coach Hightower back as well.
So 6 degrees of separation, this football thing is incestuous, is Doyle's dad. Coach was I played under his dad.
Really?
So my last year at Holy Cross, after my head coach, my first 3 years, he left and took the job at Maryland. In came Peter Voss, who's a Holy Cross alum, but was the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. And believe you me, he reminded us every fucking week there how many times he called the Sugar Bowl with Jerome Bettis. He reminded us. Okay, but his strength coach was Chris Doyle. And that was his first. I don't know if that was his first gig as a strength coach, but yeah, so that was the first. He was our offensive line and our strength coach, and then he went on to Iowa. And then one of my players from Curie ended up going to Iowa under Doyle as well.
So you gotta remind him that you got those traps and all that, from his pops. You know what I mean? Hey, what's the deal with dude though, man? I've been hearing all this stuff, and I don't know much about it, so I haven't spoke to it, but. You saying you knew the guy a while ago. What's to that? What's the deal with him?
Well, he was, I think he got too big for his britches. All right. And I think he was, because the reason he got let go from Iowa and then I forgot what other team let him go, is he was just make over just subtle racist comments. All right, and that was the whole thing. He didn't do that with us because and they didn't care about us because we're seniors. They're trying to get rid of us because we're indoctrinated with the other staff's mentality and whatnot. But I know when I had my guy Reese on, and he was saying, I forgot I think he actually used the N-word one time with him.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said he wouldn't. He said it wasn't uncommon for him to hear him use it, but then he directed it one time toward him. And so that's why he got asked to leave, and his dad was I just think he got too big for his britches. He thought he was making about $750, and he's the highest paid strength and conditioning coach. He just figured he could do it and say whatever the hell he wanted to say.
Damn.
In today's climate, you really can't. So,
well, fuck dude then. Nothing against Declan. I ain't gonna put that on his jacket, but fuck that. You just walking around calling people the N-word.
Yeah, and that's. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit, really, Reese? He's like, yeah. I was like, damn. I was like, okay. So, but that's and that's why, a lot of people are like, oh, his dad's, is a Ray. I'm like, look, his dad is his dad. Declan's not his dad. So.
Nah, I'm not putting that on him. Nah, I'm not putting it on him. But,
definitely not. But yeah, so that was the deal with his dad. His dad was, wasn't even a covert racist. He was just straight out and out. He was over. He didn't care.
I mean, I prefer my racism overt, but you still can't work around me with it. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be walking around using the N-word like it's a cup of coffee, like, like it's good morning or something. Like, nah, like, what the fuck? No.
Yep. That was the situation. So hopefully he can build his own legacy and kind of get out from underneath his dad's, horrible shadow. So
that's crazy.
Cool. All right, man. I'm gonna bounce. I got a couple of things before we finish up, but again, I appreciate it as always, bro.
All right, brother. I'll let you later.
Thank you, guys. That's Herb Howard from the Bigs, man. Man, I told you we could have just sat there and just talk football, talk all kinds of stuff. That's my man. Does a phenomenal job with the Bigs, covering the Bears. Great questions, and I love talking football with him. Yeah, Coach Doyle was interesting cat. So, one of the things I did not forget. Black Diamond, you still in the house, baby? You still in the house? You still in the house, Black Diamond? All right. You throw the M&Ms around like frisbees. Black Diamond, you still in the house? We about to put your mock draft on, put you on blast, put you on Front Street, see what you got. Give me a thumbs up if you're still in the house, Black Diamond. I think you are. That was 10:43. It was 5 minutes ago. Yes, sir. There he is. All right, here we go. I told you guys, make sure you follow me on Facebook. Make sure you follow me on. It's right here. All right, at the Shawn Sierra, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Let's take a look at Black Diamond's mock draft. Okay, so it looks like they traded down from 10 and got Will Campbell. Okay, so they traded down from 10 to 16. Obviously picked up some more picks because we got a few more. Okay, then you got, I'm definitely down with that. 16 with 41, you got JT Tuimoloa. The kid out of Ohio State. Nice. Okay, I can do that. Alfred Collins, you got a DT. Okay. I'm definitely down with that because now you're really fortifying that defensive line. But this also isn't saying what we've done in free agency, because we could have got a guard in free agency as well. But here you go. Let's go further down. You got Donovan Jackson at 47. So that might have been one of the picks that you got from trading down from 10 to 16. Donovan Jackson, you got a guard. You got a guard and a tackle. Okay, I like it. Then you got Trayvon Henderson. That's the 30-60 in the third round. You got to get Trayvon in the third round. Okay. Okay, so you got a nice running back, Trayvon Henderson in the third round from Ohio State. Seth McLaughlin, center from Ohio State. Okay, Jimmy Horn Jr. That dude can move. all right, from Colorado. And Josh Preeb from, so you addressed a lot. You got 2 guards, a center, and a tackle. 2 guards, a center, and a tackle. That's the 4 offensive line we talked about. Now, Preeby might not make it, but you got your left tackle. We got our right tackle already, and Darnell Wright. But Preeby could be. You know why I like this? And this may sound stupid. I'm gonna take it off for a second. I'm gonna put it right back up. You know why I like this? Because of this. You're not reaching. Okay, you're not reaching. Okay, you're getting people who played at a high level. You didn't get a guy out of Southern Utah. You're not getting a guy from Yale who's injured. Okay, you're getting guys who played in the Big Ten. Getting guys who played in the SEC. Those are the best 2 football conferences in America. And a lot of those players end up playing on Sunday. So to get those type of players who are already used to that type of competition is something that I really like. And if you re-sign Tevin, guess what, Tevin? You got to fight now, baby. You got to fight. And I wouldn't even mind re-signing Tevin and have you and the youngsters fight it out. If you beat him, good. Guess what, youngster? Keep your helmet strapped because he's hurt. He's ready to get hurt at any moment. Any moment. Let's see. King Booker World said, I wish I watched college enough to do a mock draft. I don't know who's who. Okay. Shorty asked you, do you put Campbell at guard? Oh. You do? Okay. So you put Will Campbell at guard. So you're gonna rock with maybe free agency at a left tackle, or you're gonna rock with Braxton Jones again, huh? Okay. Cornelia Squall says, okay, Black Diamond, address all the needs. I just prefer Quinshawn Judkins over Henderson and Shamar Stewart over JT. Okay. And Moss says, looks good, but my swap would be 72, no running back, but draft Georgia center Jarrett. Hey, I'm cool. I like Georgia has been in the college football playoff how many years in a row? Back-to-back national champions. You got some peoples. You got some peoples that are going to play on Sunday. Got a lot of peoples that are going to play on Sunday. Shorty, I would like to trade down 2-3 spots and still get Yancey, though. No, I don't want Yancey. He's a luxury pick. And I think if you had Philly's offensive line, then maybe. But I still give me the Hogs first. King Booker World, you might be right. So I would re-sign Tevin, but he would be depth. That might save his career to not start. You might be. And hey, dog, you're still getting $800,000, $1 million a year. You know what I mean? What if you get 3 for 5? 3 years, $5 million. 1.3 per. 1.6 per. Sorry. Nothing, but guess what? You're still making $1 million, fool. You're still making it 1.6. And you ain't making that kind of change when you leave the league. All right, you got a new baby, you got a baby girl, I believe. You're still getting those NFL paychecks. It might not be a bad thing, King Booker World. And I hope Tevin Jenkins and his agent are keeping it a buck amongst themselves. Like, hey, Tevin, you can't stay healthy. Okay? But again, if someone else gives him the bag, I tell him, jump, take it. Take it. You got a wife. I believe that he's married. But you got a young daughter. Keep getting those checks as long as you can get it. King Booker World, like you said, that might be right. Him being a backup might be the best way. Imagine if he does this for 3 more years. 3 more years, 4 more years. Like, this is the kind of guy, like, he's not the kind of guy, I'm going to go buy a Porsche. I'm going to go buy a 20-bedroom mansion. No. There's a simple guy from Oklahoma, from Texas somewhere, you know what I mean? Like, get him a nice $300,000, $400,000 house, which is, especially if he goes back to Texas. Man, if he goes back to Texas, you know what you can get for $500,000? $500,000? Excuse me. Let me see where Tevin is from. Kansas. Topeka, Kansas. So you imagine a $500,000 in Topeka, Kansas? Oh, man. Okay, so here's what you do. Black Diamond says his arms are short. You talk about Will Campbell's. And free agent left tackle. No Braxton Jones. No Jones. Okay. No team is going to pay Tevin big money with all those injuries. Sign him to a $9 million a year, up to 15 with incentives for playing time. You're going to pay him $9 million? No, that's crazy. Yeah, he's not getting $9 million. I mean, you get a $3 or $4 million. But I mean, not all impact players have to start. See Bob Sanders. And here's the one thing. This is why this offensive line coach is important, because there's a standard that has to be set. Okay? There's a mindset that has to be instilled on this team. You look at it other places. Why do other places have some second round, third round offensive linemen who are doing work? Or we hear this guy's out, that guy's out, their offensive line is decimated, and they're running for 150 yards. Because it's a mindset. It's a mentality that they have. It's set by the offensive line coach. This hire is huge. Whoever that's going to be for the Bears, it is huge. Hank Fraley was the one that they really, really, really wanted. Well, $3 or $4 million, that would insult him, but you can't. It wouldn't be insulting. Hey, you haven't been able to stay healthy for a full season. Okay, when you're healthy, you're a son of a gun. You haven't been able to stay healthy. And you can sign him to a $3 or $4 million deal with incentives that'll make it 6 to 8. You play X amount of games, you get more. You know what I mean? Like you're healthy or you start X amount of games, you get more. The one thing that I wonder with him is what type of stretching routine does he have? Because if you did some yoga and some Pilates, I think that would initiate a lot. That would help alleviate a lot of his issues. Very important. You're talking about the O-line hire. Yes, very important. O-line coach. But I wonder what his stretching routine is. All right, because you can get your knees stronger, you can get them more flexible, your hips more flexible. All right, but it's something that's got to be done every day. You got to do that every day. You got to stretch, and that could alleviate a lot of his problems. But you give him a small salary with tons of incentives. King Booker World said 7 for 3, so 21 mil. That could go up to 25 with levels met. Okay. I mean, I'd say 4. I'd say 5. I'll go with 5. I'll give you $5 mil a year for 3 years. That's 15. And you go up to 25 with incentives. Certain number of snaps, percentage of snaps you make. You grade out at a certain level. Okay. Yeah, he does. You're right. He's got to see where they're coming from as well. You have to. You have to understand that. Well, Shorty, you make a great point there as well. Taxes are very important, and Illinois robs their citizens like gangsters. If I were Tevin, I would go to a state with no income taxes. That makes no state income tax you're talking about. Yeah, that makes sense. Go to Florida. I don't know. Does Texas have a state income tax? I don't think they do. No, I agree. That state income tax will get you. So just because you make all this money, you don't keep any of it. You don't keep the majority of it. Because Uncle Sam's coming in taking half shit. Like Eddie Murphy's wife. I want half, Eddie. I want half. And Uncle Sam don't ask. They just come and take their half their shit, and now you're working with that. Then the state income tax comes and takes it. Takes their cut of the their piece of the pie. Then your union comes in. Your agent, he's got to get his piece. Then your union comes in. Yeah, there's a lot. So you cut that in half, and it goes down from there. So 10 million here is not 10 million somewhere else. Maybe he wants to be closer to home. He wants to be close to Dallas. Okay, who knows? I don't know. But I like the draft. I like the mock that you did. I like the fact that you really went heavy on offensive linemen. I do. Because Preeb, Donovan Jackson, these are all Big Ten linemen. And you said you want to put Will Campbell at guard. Okay. So you got three new draft picks for 2 slots. Now let's compete. In the left tackle free agency, you said? Cool. I'm good with that. That's nice. Shorty, yes. Shorty says, nice mock, Black Diamond. Yes. Thanks, Shawn. That's a good one, Dawes. Hey, shoot me some more if you make any more. Cool. Patty said, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Tell your friends and loved ones that you love them. Ain't that the truth? I just found out one of the guys from our CrossFit gym had a heart attack and died. He was 38. Freaking kidding me? 38. Man, 2 hours is coming and going. I want to say thank you to my guest, Herb Howard, for coming on, man. It was a great segment. If you missed it, make sure you check it out. I'll replay this at 6 o'clock tonight, 6 p.m. Central, just so you know. But beautiful. It's 42 degrees right now. Man, remember it was last week it was like -8. I woke up going to CrossFit. And now it's 42 degrees. All right. Enjoy it. And let your loved ones know you love them. Because, man, we're going through a thing over at CrossFit Warehouse, man. And as I always tell you, tomorrow is promised to no one. 38 years old, had a heart attack and died. And he hadn't been at CrossFit in a while. And the owner, she was saying, she talked to him a couple weeks ago because his brother comes to CrossFit. And he was talking to him a couple weeks ago, and he's like, you know what, I need to get back. And just like that, he's gone. So, man, live life to the fullest, baby. Do it. All right. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Have a phenomenal day. All right. Love you guys. I appreciate the love and support you give me. Your boy is out.